What's up, rock stars? It's Rox coming to you today with a review for Love and Marriage DC Season 1, Episode 1. So you guys, our girl Monique Samuels and Chris Samuels are back, this time on another show. We remember her from Real Housewives of Potomac, but apparently this show was pitched to her after she left Potomac. She wasn't ready to get to it, but then she changed her mind and decided to do the show, okay? Monique likes to be on TV, all right? And she's dragged Chris in on it. Some days I think he want to do it, other days I don't think so. But anyway, this is the show that's been built around Monique, and she's built the show with these different couples on there. And I think that the season is going to be very interesting. The people that are on here are quite colorful, quite animated. So yes, I think this is going to be an interesting show, and I'm glad I'm reviewing it. Let's see if Monique and her girls show us a little bit more and open her up to the entire Monique Samuels and the rest of them, you guys. Let's get to the review, shall we? Now, I already told you what's going on with Monique. We already kind of know their thing anyway. Monique is married to Chris Samuels. They've been together, I guess now it's been around 8 years. Did she say 8 years? I kind of feel like she said 8, or did she say 10? They've been together somewhere around a decade. They have 3 kids. Remember that last baby, though, was where they started having issues because I don't really think that Monique was quite in the space to be having another baby. They were having issues, and then they had the 3rd baby, and that just kind of compounded a lot of things. So we already know what's going on with Chris and Monique. Now, we have Ashley Silva and DJ Silva, or is it DJ Quicksilva? Is it Quicksilva? I keep wanting to throw Quick in there. I'm not sure if it's because of DJ Quick is in my mind from LA, West Coast. Whatever his name is, y'all know he is the DJ. He's been having a syndicated radio show for a long time. He's very well known in DC. And he's a DJ, and then she apparently, her and Silva been together for many years. They have some kids together. I don't really remember how many kids they have together or something, but they look like they are in a pretty happy marriage. Okay, we'll talk more about them in a little bit. Then we have Irana Tyler. Irana is actually the one that's TikTok famous. Her and her husband, okay? So apparently they have a big following on social media. And Monique explains us to her by saying that she is fun-loving, she's beautiful, which she is. Actually, all of the women on the show are very pretty. But she said that, she knows that she's beautiful, and she will tell you as well. So apparently she's 48 years old. Her and her husband have been together for many years. He is actually a good-looking guy, too. So that is this. So we got the Silvas. We have Irana, child, I don't know. I'm sure I'll get the names right by the time we start really reviewing this show. But her and her husband, Ashley and Silva, and Monique and Chris. Those are the 3 couples that are on the show. We're gonna meet all the girls together because Monique is having some sort of event at Kendra Scott's store out there, and so all the ladies are going to come there. So it looks like they're pretty close, or at least they've been able to forge some sort of friendship as they've been trying to get this show together. They have a friend named Winter, and we find out that Winter has had, Winter's going through some things because, first of all, Winter ain't got no hair from here on down. And I was just like, I'm all for the shaving on one side, but I'm gonna need you to bring that over to here. I mean, you look crazy when you ain't got no hair from right here. This whole half of her head is bald, and it looks weird. I don't know who did her hair like that, but that is enough to let you know that maybe Winter might be going through some things. We find out that her husband had an affair and I think had a baby on her. And so Winter, yeah, she's decided to leave the husband, but now she's going through, I guess trying to get through life with all of these drastic changes. Anyway, the event that Monique is having, I think this is, what was this for? I don't even remember what it was for, but it was funny because Ashley and Irana, they were sitting over there, and Ashley was like, this is boring. Like, oh my God, wake me up when this shit is over. Monique has a panel up there, and she's interviewing the people or whatever. But this was like more of a way for us to kind of see their personalities. And I think we got a pretty good picture of what their personalities were. So after Monique has her whole thing and it closes up and Monique is able to join the women, they're just kind of standing around talking. Urana's husband's name is Jamie. I think Tyler is their last name. They're about to have a party because it's their 20-something anniversary. And Monique was just like, oh my God, like, you guys having a party? Y'all need to have like a Q&A, so that we can sit down and we can ask you questions. And Urana was like, no, I'm not doing that. Ashley with her slick ass gonna say, yeah, because she needs some tips and pointers on how, to become a woman, okay? Because, honey, Ashley said, y'all been married since I was like 10 years old. And Urana was just like, oh, damn, like, is that shade? Yes, that is shade. Apparently, Ashley has all these cute little funny things to say about Urana's age, but Urana looks great. She really looks good. What really cracked me up, though, was when Ashley was like, you need to give him a good memory, okay? Honey, you need to just go up in front of him and you need to stand and dance and you need to kind of bend over and do your butt, So she was kind of twerking in front of Monique. And Urana was just looking at her like, girl, I've been married 20-something years. You don't think I did all that? Trust me, I done did way more than you probably think. I'm sitting there just smiling to myself because it's always them young ones think that just because, you older that baby, how you think we stayed married this long? She was like, you ain't never did it to him like that. Girl, you ain't did nothing but this half-ass twerk in front of Monique. Okay, we do that at the fucking club. We do that shit when we getting dressed to go out somewhere. I run in front of him in the bathroom. I was like, girl, you ain't telling me nothing. But Urana's gracious enough not to blast Ashley like that. Ashley thought she was doing something, bless her heart. So the party was a way for us to get to know the ladies a little bit. Now, let's kind of talk about everybody in their marital home. Let's start with Chris and Monique. I really don't 100% know what the problems are in their marriage. They haven't really said. Well, you know what? I'll take that back. Like I said, Monique had that third baby. They weren't really ready to have another baby. I think she was feeling like the kids was tying her down. She was busy with the kids and not for lazy moms and her hair oils and all of that. Remember, she was doing all of that. And Chris was not contributing to the household emotionally and physically. He was just letting her do everything. Plus, she's trying to maintain this marriage and doing all of this shit for him and businesses and property and all of that, and she was burning the candle on both ends. So that was what the problem was back then. Apparently they're working on it. Chris is going to a counselor. They've been together 10 years, I'm seeing on my notes. And he was saying that they've been through some ups and downs. And in the downs that they've had, they've disconnected emotionally. So Chris actually is aware. Monique has made it clear how she feels and she wants him to fix it. And Chris is making whatever effort that he is making to fix it. So they're trying to get it back on track. Monique tells him how Juana and Jamie are going to have this 26th year anniversary party and how she wants, them to go. And he was like, wow, I want to talk to him and ask him some questions. And, she was like, that's what I said. I want to ask him too. No, honey, don't nobody want to do this. This is not a counseling session. This is a fucking party. And plus, what makes you think that I want to sit there and tell you about all the shit that we've been through in 26 years? When you've been married for that long, trust me, it's been some ultimate highs and some ultimate lows. So, ain't nobody really trying to be on TV and blasting the shit, what happened. So, I totally get why Rana was like, no. But Chris and Monique both felt like she should. Now let's jump over to the Tyler household. So this is Juana and Jamie. Very good looking couple. I was just like, I know they done been through something. I know they have. But Rana says that the mom lives with her and that it's a blessing because the mom does everything. Did you guys see the way the mom kind of rolled her eyes when she asked her when the food was going to be ready? I was like, does the mom want to be there to help? Or you guys got the mama doing every fucking thing there? Mama ain't no butler, ain't no maid. She was just like, she does everything. Child, y'all paying mama? What y'all doing? Apparently, they have a blind son, so the mom does help with that. And Jamie, actually the way they explained it on the show, I'm starting to look at my notes and now I'm remembering. He has a promotional, he promotes parties, big parties. He said that he's been all over America promoting big ass parties, that they the ones to call if you want some promotion done. They also said that they're the most stylish couple in DC. Everybody knows it. When the Tylers step out, they look good. Now they have another son, Lil Jamie. All right. And apparently Lil Jamie and Big Jamie don't get along. And Irana says that this has been dragging on too long, and she wants, wants them to get this fixed. Jamie was just like, well, is he coming? And she was like, well, I do want him to come to the party. And Jamie was like, well, if he comes, he don't want him to come with no bullshit because, then it's gonna be a problem. But then in the same breath, he was just like, he don't think he's even going to come. Okay, so it's just like, do you want the boy to come or not? But that dynamic with the father and the son, that happens a lot, especially if they have similar personalities or if they have certain ways that, a lot of sons and fathers will have that clash. They'll have at least one good argument and one big clash because everybody is just trying to establish their positions as adults now. So it happens. Speaking of Lil Jamie, we meet Lil Jamie when Irana meets with him at a used car lot because he wants to buy a new car. She was just like, I just want you to know that I'm not buying no car for you. I ain't signing for nothing. I am merely here for support. Okay, that's it. I'm not paying for nothing. So anyway, while they're looking at the cars and, the man is going to go get the car keys for him to test drive it, they're talking, and Lil Jamie says that the problem that he's had with Big Jamie is that they've never really had a good relationship. They've never really seen eye to eye. So that has just gotten worse as he's gotten older. And so she's telling him that it's important for her and, him and the father to get it together, because she worries about him a lot. If he's not there, she don't know where he is. There's a lot of shit going on. All of a sudden she started crying like, I was just thinking about, I don't want anything to happen to you. And I was just like, girl, are you really crying on the first episode? I understand you don't want nothing to happen to your son and everything, but are you crying really? Just that fast out there. She just started crying. I said, okay, Irana, okay. But she don't want him to, basically wake up dead. You know how these police is out here killing these kids and everything. Like, she just wants to make sure that he is good, and then the fact that him and his father get along and all of that. So she wants him to get it together. And then she gonna tell us, she wanted him to see her cry so that I said, so you was really manipulating the boy and you really started crying? The cry didn't even feel all that genuine. I know it's about time to get to the party.
Yeah.
Okay, let me just finish this. And he was just like, I don't want to see my mom cry. I don't want to make my mom cry. So, I guess as a mom, sometimes you got to use, you got to use what you got to get where you want to go. And we'll see what happens when he shows up at the party. Now let's jump over to Quick and Ashley. These two are married. They have 2 kids. What do my notes say? Their 14-year-old son, 9-year-old daughter. And like I said, he's a syndicated radio host, huge entrepreneur, has businesses. He says that he is an award-winning global name. They've been married 13 years. And she says that she knew that as soon as she met him, she knew that this was the man that she was going to marry. But the fact that he is so busy all the time, she's pretty much felt like a single mom the whole time that they've had their kids. She's been the one to raise the kids because he's so busy with the radio show and all his other businesses. She kind of feels like he uses the radio show to get away. Okay? And she doesn't feel like that's right. And so now they're talking and she's telling him, like, I got shit that I want to do too. She has a podcast and she's trying to write a book. She don't have time to write the book because she's so busy running after these kids, and he don't be helping. And he says he knows that his lifestyle doesn't afford, him to be more available, but he's going to do something about it. He's going to get better with making sure that he has the time to spend with the family and everything. But I don't know how he's going to do it because he seems like he's just as busy today as he was 5 years ago, 7 years ago, 10 years ago, especially now with them being on the show. He's probably going to get busier, and so is she. So, you're going to see how maybe the strain might, make things harder for them. He's like, I would love to be a stay-at-home dad. And she was like, don't placate me. Like, don't sit up here and say you would love to be a stay-at-home dad. That kind of insinuates that you think that as a stay-at-home mom, I'm not really doing anything. And I am doing a lot. Trust me, you guys, I'm sure everybody who was home with them kids at COVID realizes that being a stay-home parent, period, is a lot of fucking work. Them kids will drive you crazy. So Ashley feels like she sacrificed a lot for the family, as mothers do. Right or wrong, we do that. And then she kind of feels like, is she slowly fading away? Is she losing herself? Well, these are conversations that you have with yourself. And probably right around that 13-year mark. Y'all know how I feel about 7 years, baby. Trust me, it is true. So Ashley is about right there where she's looking at it like, okay, like I'm going to have to get back to Ashley or we're going to have some problems. Tyler's 26th anniversary party. So first we see Monique and Chris, they're there and they meet Winter there. Winter is telling Chris and Monique about what happened. Well, Monique already knows, but she's telling Chris, basically she was married, and it don't look like she was married, but about a year. And then she said that she regretted getting married, and then the husband had stepped out, had a baby on her and everything. And Chris was just like, what? He couldn't believe it because he was just like, I thought y'all loved each other. And I was like, And then in a year, yeah, if it was already happening and shit like that was happening in a year, maybe y'all got married too soon. She was just like, when people show you who they are, you believe them. Yeah, I guess so. The Silvas get there next, and while they're sitting there talking, we was talking about the Silvas and how the DJ, whatever his name is, he is working really hard, and Ashley feels like he needs to pull back. She feels like that's his escape, remember? So they're talking about that. So now they want to get these tips from Juana and Jamie as well. Okay, so speaking of the Tylers, they get there. Okay, they do look great. They get out that car. That Jamie is fine. Juana is beautiful too. So they walk in, and they the stylish couple of DC. Monique was like, they look good. All of this. They greeting all of their people there. There's a lot of folks there. Then they come and sit down with the group. And as soon as they sit down, they all start bombarding them with questions like, oh, you guys been married 26 years, and how you do this, and how she was like, didn't I say that we wasn't doing a Q&A? Don't even try to do that while we here. But Monique was just like, she admires the journey. She really wants to know. She doesn't want to end up like her parents. Her parents got a divorce while she was young, and she don't want to end up like Chris's parents because they're married, but they act like they're friends. And I was like, first the fuck off, I'm sure Chris doesn't appreciate you talking about his mama, even if the mama is a mess. Okay, because that mama, I really hope we gonna see that mama one time this season. But how you gonna sit up there and throw his mama and her husband under the bus? That lady was like, see, now how I get in this? We wasn't even talking about Chris's. They act like they friends, girl. And she did that a couple of times in the episode. But anyway, we're just talking about this one for now. I didn't like that though. That shit wasn't cool. But anyway, while they're all sitting there at the table, they notice that little Jamie is there, okay? And Big Jamie is looking like, oh God, like, okay. I was like, please don't get the arguing and fussing with this boy at your party. Little Jamie tells us that he hasn't talked to his dad in like 5 or 6 months. So this is him, trying to clear the air. So he walks over there and he says, Dad, can I talk to you for a minute? Okay, so Big Jamie gets out from behind the table and he goes over to the side and they're talking. And basically Jamie was just like, yeah, we didn't really get along. And then I was hanging around the wrong people, and, he just didn't want to hear what his dad had to say and all of that. So, he just kind of got off on the wrong path. But he's trying to get his shit together now. So he basically apologizes to Big Jamie, and I think that was something that Big Jamie wanted to hear, okay? He said that he gonna always love his son, but the fact that he was doing some wrong things, he couldn't support that. So that's the reason why they hadn't talked and everything. But you know what? If something happened, he gonna be the first one in his corner. Like, he always gonna be there, but he gotta make the right decisions and all of that. So they have a quick father-son moment at the party. I was happy because I was just like, please don't start off this season. Let's not start the season off with you and your son not getting along. So the conversation, they hug it out. They love each other. They tell each other they love it. The conversation went well. After the party, we see Chris and Monique. They're having a conversation about the party. Juana and Jamie married 26 years, them really wishing that they could pick their brains about the success of their marriage. And, but then Monique does kind of understand that maybe there's shit that they just don't want to speak on. Okay, so they just gonna have to respect it. But in this conversation, when Chris is telling her that, he knows that he hasn't been, there for her, and he hasn't really made, life easy for her and all of that, but that he's been working on it. He's been going to counseling, things are going to get better. And she was just like, yeah, it's been fucking 10 years. I've been waiting for you to do this. And he was just like, okay, well, keep waiting. It's coming. Okay. And she kind of got upset that he said this, but I'm just sitting there thinking like, what did you think he was going to say? Like, he's trying to tell you that I recognize that you had a problem with me in the marriage, and I'm trying to correct it. And now you still telling me that I ain't did it. And we already know that, So all of a sudden they get into a quick, not really a argument, but I honestly don't know what exactly was is the problem now? Is it just still that they're trying to correct the problems from what they had on Real Housewives of Potomac? I'm just not really clear on what the problem is with Monique and Chris. You know, and maybe they'll explain it as the season goes on, but she just was like, I've been mad for 10 years and waiting for you to change, and you ain't changed. And then he kind of gets into it because I guess in his mind, he feels like he's making an effort and you still don't appreciate that shit. But this is the second time that she mentioned something about his family, because she was just like, you know, he was like, I'm trying to be what you want me to be. And she was like, I don't want you to be what I want you to be. I just want you to realize that you need to change for yourself. Girl, you're gonna have to take this change either any way it comes, whether or not he's trying to do it for your ass or for him. Okay? If you want the results, just accept however way he's going about it. But she was just like, that's what your family does. You know, they just push shit under the rug. And I was just like, this is the second time that you done mentioned his family. Clearly, they're going to use that as a storyline in the show. But if I was his mom, I would have been pissed. Bitch, don't keep talking about me because your marriage fucked up. And me and my husband over here acting like we friends, at least we ain't fighting on TV. So, you know, we're going to see what happens. But when they got into that quick little conversation / discussion / minor argument, I was just like, what are y'all fussing about? Child, I don't know. All right, you guys, let me get off of here. I'm about to go down here to this pool party. Let me get on. Make sure you rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I'm itsrox. The channel is itsrox, and everything else I do will be in the bottom bar. All right. So I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, and I plan on doing the same. Until next time, rock stars. Bye.